It is 6 o'clock. If everyone would stand, we will call this city council meeting to order. At this time, we will have a word of silence. Thank you. I would ask Mr. Stone if he would lead us into the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Good evening and welcome to Georgetown City Council as we conduct business for the city of Georgetown for Monday, March the 9th, 2026. At this time, Madam Clerk, if you will call the roll.
Mr. Stone? Here. Ms. Tingle Sams? Here. Ms. Leslie Mitchell? Here. Mr. Minke?
Present.
Mr. Hampton?
Here.
Ms. Hamburg?
Present.
Mr. Chris?
Here.
Ms. Wilkins-Grant?
Here.
Everybody? Everybody's here. Good, thank you. Item number 3, approval of the minutes for February 23rd, 2026. At this, you all have received those, and at this time, I will entertain a motion.
Before we do that, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make just a brief change or a suggested change, make a motion for it regarding the discussion about the Legacy Park. I'd like to suggest that we amend it when I recused to before any discussion began. Councilmember Crisp recused himself from this discussion and any possible action relating to the proposed item.
All right. So you have heard the motion.
Second.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, second. I'll second his.
Yes.
So I also had a request for a modification as
Okay, well, let me get his first, okay?
I'll second his amendment.
Yeah, let me second his amendment first. So you have heard the request from Mr. Chris and had a motion from him, had a second by Ms. Sames. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor of this amendment?
Okay, just the amendment. Okay.
That's the amendment to that. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Now, Mr. Minke.
Yeah, so under Section 11A, under Old Business, I had covered 3 categories of requests. 2 of them were in the minutes, but the third one was not. I did go back to double check and make sure that I said what I thought I said. The third category or third point made that request for a listing of the historical properties, historically significant properties, vacant properties, and city properties were also included in that.
Okay. So we need a motion to amend that portion also. Do I have a motion?
I made that motion.
Motion made, but you do have a second to that by Ms. Mitchell. Are there further questions and or comments? All those in favor of Mr. Minke's amendment to the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Let the reflect that those amendments will be amended to the minutes. Thank you. Item number 4.
You need a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Excuse me, I'm going to get ahead of myself. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes, which we just had.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
motion made here
Second.
by Ms. Hambrick, second by Mr. Minke. Now, are there further questions and or comments? All's in favor of the motion now for the minutes with all the changes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Now, item 3 is passed. Item number 4, receipt of the check registry. You have received those and have viewed those. If you have, please raise your hand. Let the record reflect that all has received it. At this time, item number 4, public comments. On public comments, you will have 4 minutes in which to state your business before council. Once again, you will be able to state that. Madam Clerk will time it. At 3-minute mark, she will let you know that 3 minutes has elapsed. And then at the end of 4 minutes, she will let you know again. And at that time, we will ask that you be respectful and take your seat so we may continue with business for the city of Georgetown. Right now, we have Dan Holman for Georgetown Municipal GMSWSS and Parks.
Hi there, Dan Holman, Georgetown. So yeah, I just wanted to make a couple comments related to GMWSS and also just in parks in general. So yes, there's been this discussion recently about the cabins at Royal Spring Park and about Royal Spring Park. And so on the agenda tonight, so apparently, they were going to go back to Cleary Construction and ask them to move the sewer piping around the cabins. And apparently the design engineer, who I guess that's Bell Engineering, apparently said that should be able to be done at minimal cost. But then when they actually took it to the construction company, as Chase reported, I think last time, or no, he reported in the memo that's in the packet, they are saying that's going to be an expensive cost, like more expensive than anybody expected. And so now they're asking them to justify that cost. So there's kind of an appearance that maybe Cleary Construction is just trying to, milk. So you want to make sure they're not just milking you for more money. And it's good that GMWSS is asking them to explain themselves. But really, at this point, it also could be like you all as the council who's in charge of all this could just tell Cleary Construction that we are considering canceling your contract and finding someone else who can do this, who can get this done. So one option, and I sent an email to the council earlier today, and I also posted this email on the Georgetown KY Water Complaints Facebook page if anybody wants to see it there. But that was suggesting that, frankly, this project should have, from a perspective, never been in Royal Spring Park from the first place. Like a year ago when this all came up, that's the time that we should have been having the public discussion about the park and the cabins and all this, but that didn't happen. Chase actually sent an email a year ago. I did some open records requests, and he said, should we check with city council about their approval to move the cabins? And then the response was, let's call you from the mayor's office. We'll call you on the phone to talk about it. So Chase actually maybe was trying to get this to you all a year ago, but I think it's the mayor's office that didn't want you all to see this. But anyway, Georgetown needs innovation. One thing we just that we maybe need some improvement on is being innovative. So one innovative way to approach modern day sewer projects is trenchless digging. So I sent in the email just a request or a suggestion to put out a bid for a trenchless contractor to come in and just go underneath Water Street. And then there's videos and things you can see online about how that works. So that would be great if maybe as part of the discussion you all could consider this and Georgetown Municipal could consider this. And then frankly also in the future, GMWSS probably overstepped their bounds in making this decision. They're not the Parks and Rec department, so their job is to just lay out options and to say, here's what you need, and lay out options, and it's your job to decide what options are chosen. But in this case, it seems like they kind of chose an option and then brought you only one option. But it's not, okay, 1 minute. And so also related to GMWSS, people have been calling for a long time for more reporting about these billing spikes. And so I think they're slowly working on that. One state, so we just need some actual statistics. It was stated that this mayor and everything wants to partner with Georgetown College. Could you get a statistics professor from Georgetown College to sort through their billing data? And you can run all kinds of statistics reports and find patterns and things. That's worth doing, instead of saying that this is just a very manual process and there's a limit to what we can do. Related also to parks in general, the beautification committee is a good committee. I think it's mainly about inmates cleaning up public spaces, but also it doesn't want to overstep its boundaries. It's not the Parks and Rec department. Its job is not to form new parks and name new parks. So they this idea about the Clayton and Broadway land, that should probably be turned over to Parks and Rec to name it and to design it. And thank you.
All right. Okay. All right, is there anyone else who came in late, did not get an opportunity to sign the sign-in sheet for public comments and would like to do so at this time? If you do, if you want to do that, I can add your name to this. All right, if not, we'll move on to our next item, the events application, and we have Southern Knights of Central Kentucky Car Cruise In.
Good evening, Council. I'm Marcia Smither. I'm a member of the Southern Knights of Central Kentucky. I'll also take care of all the vendor sponsorship that we use at our big car show in October. But we would like to do a proposal, and I know we've done it a few times, of doing some car cruise things out here on Main Street from the corner up to Mulberry. We have on average about anywhere from 100 maybe to 150 cars that come. Right now, the big push for a lot of these car clubs and things like us are doing the downtown, so they get the downtown experience. We have 3 dates that we would like to propose: April the 11th from 4 to 7, July the 11th from 5 to 8, and September 26th from 5 to 8. And these people that we deal with these cars, they come from all over. So they kind of like coming to the downtown areas and seeing which, Georgetown is one of my favorites because they have it, it's decorated and there's flowers and everything. So it's one of my favorites and people compliment that. So we would just like to propose that we could possibly do those 3 dates. I'm not sure if you all have questions. I'm not sure what else I need to talk about. Southern Nights has been a part of Georgetown since 1989. It's where it was formed. We do, from our big car show we do in October, we do make donations to the Georgetown Fire Department or I think it's Scott County Fire Department for Toys for Tots. Also, some of the, one of the police department organizations, we do make donations to them as well.
All right.
I have a question.
Well, okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
For Lori, has all the paperwork been turned in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we pass this.
Okay, motion is made by Ms. Mitchell
these
to accept the proposal here to add these dates to the calendar. Do I have a second? Ask again, do I have a second?
I have another question, so I'll second it so I can ask another
Okay.
question.
Okay, now, motion second. Now, questions and or comments?
Yeah. So okay, I'm a car guy,
Oh.
okay? So no question about that. So one of the things that we put in place is the pavilion behind City Hall to be able to help load Main Street for long chunks of time.
Right.
Especially on high-volume times and things like that. So I guess my question is, can the pavilion accommodate that? There's lots of parking back there, and that's where the farmer's market is, and, you know, it does these kinds of things. We have events and things like that. So is there a reason that we can't offer that as an alternative?
Possibly. I'm not real sure. I would have to talk with the rest of our organization.
Right.
They just like the atmosphere
Sure.
of downtown. I know we've got some other areas that we travel to that people just love the downtown atmosphere.
Right.
So I know we've done it down in that parking lot before, but I feel like we ran out of space the last time we did it. And I know we did some overflow down there as well when we ran out of space. That's definitely something that
Okay.
I can check on.
Mayor,
Yeah.
can I say something? And by the time that you would have at least the July dates, the parking lot would be bigger because the construction would be over. So it would be my ideation as well that that would be a better spot and it would be the least interruptive for downtown traffic.
Okay.
Can I was wondering, I like the pavilion idea also, but maybe one of their events can be maybe on Main Street, and then the other 2 could be in the pavilion? Give them one
Yeah, I guess,
Saturday, or is it Saturday?
yeah,
or-
one of the
Yes,
follow-up
they're on
Give them,
Saturdays.
you know, downtown.
One of the follow-up questions I also had was, given the construction activity that's going on in the back of City Hall and things like that, I know there is restrictions right now, and I know we're going to be getting more detailed information on the timing and the completion of the back of City Hall, restoration of the parking lot, and all those kinds of things. So I too, think that, that could potentially be an alternative, but I think the intent was the pavilion to be able to minimize the amount of disruption into Main Street.
And one thing that was one of the biggest reasons that it was built was to take events off of Main Street. There for a while, we shut down Main Street every other day, and it doesn't need to happen. It's a state road, and it needs to remain open. It affects the businesses downtown. Have you spoken to Laurie Saunders about this?
No.
Without her approval, I won't vote for it.
Okay, and she's at,
Come on up, you may come on up. You wanna-
I have tried calling her 4 or 5 times. I left her a message last week for her to call me. I don't want to interfere with anything that's going on with her. I did check on some of the dates, and some of them does not interfere with her. But I couldn't get an answer on what time that the streets were closed, because that's what I don't want to do, because I know that's where we had problems before.
You've got April, I don't know if there's any other events on Main Street for April, but I do know if you look at your July, because you got the 4th of July is the weekend before that, so the streets will be closed and activity going on, and then in September should be the Festival of the Horse falling in there, so that will be, so
September.
those 2 dates in particular are probably not good for Main Street.
okay.
Because there'll already be something going on Main Street, but I don't know what's going on if there is in April, so.
I wanted to say too, though, that one of the things that we asked was that they, if they were going to have an event on Main Street, that it did minimize the closing of the businesses. And the fact that it is up in the afternoon on a Saturday instead of all day, I think should be considered. If it could work at the pavilion, I wonder if 150 cars could fit down there, and if they were able to fit, how would people walk around down there? I just,
Same way they do it at Farmers Market.
well, there's not 150 cars in the parking lot at Farmers Market. I mean, there's not. And maybe we could just look at the first one, since it is right around the corner, and then see how it goes for July and September. What do you think?
I'd like to know if there's any other events for April. Because
Right.
if there is, then I would be inclined not to. If there's not, then maybe we can close it one night. But that was the whole problem before, is too many, it ended up being the same month, same time, too many
Sure.
interruptions.
Yeah.
I know she's called Lori, but I still would like to have Lori's input on that.
So with this, I know we got a motion and everything, we probably go on, but a suggestion would be that having that discussion with her and then bringing it back to us as soon as
Okay.
possible, and then doing that way, would that work? Probably be the best way. That way you have already made contact with her, you have more definitive information that you can bring to us, so.
Okay,
But we got, I guess, with a motion here, unless somebody wanted to declare that, we got.
And let me just ask too, because April 11th is, we have one council meeting before that. Is that enough time for?
Yeah, if we bring back on the 23rd, I think that would be enough time,
so there's another council meeting the 23rd?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
all right, we'll get with her, and then we'll make a plan to be back on the 23rd.
Yeah, I think to Karen's point, though, I think it would be important for us to have in one place a calendar of the things that are going on downtown and at the pavilion, so that we have one place to look, because that's one of the things I also did. I went and had to go to like 4 different locations and still wasn't comfortable I was finding all the things that I thought were going on downtown. So that would be one of my requests as well, is that we establish some calendar that can be attached to these applications, or someplace we can go to check and see what's there, so that we can minimize the time downtown.
So, Mayor, could I make a motion that we table this until the next council meeting?
Yes. All right. So,
Withdraw.
you want to withdraw your other
I'll
motion?
withdraw it then.
Okay, you want to
Okay.
withdraw your motion, so withdraw that motion. So now let's look at, you want to make another motion to table this to the next one? Or you just want to?
I just withdraw it.
Okay,
and
that's fine.
You
So-
just come back to the next meeting.
Thank you all
Okay,
very
But-
much.
thank you all.
I think, Devin, we on our, go ahead, Devin.
I'm sorry.
We at the
So
council.
if this is, if there's a different process that you all want to talk about, that's fine, we can. But as of now, anytime an event application is approved by the council, Tracy sends you a calendar invite so it, on your Outlook, your city account should live on your calendar there. So
Right.
for example, the 4th of July event was just approved. So if there's a way that we need to improve that, we can certainly talk about it. But as of now, you all should have on your calendar any events that have been approved. So I don't see any for April at this point. The only one I think that's been approved in the kind of tranche of summer events so far is July 4th, but we'll confirm that before the next meeting and kind of make sure everybody's comfortable with that process.
Because didn't tourism, did they pre-schedule their concert series?
They typically do. I'm trying to remember if they did this year. If those
I was
invites,
thinking that
if those
they
invites haven't
did.
gone out, we can check on that, but that's
Right.
generally the process where you guys
Yeah.
can see those events on your calendars. As soon as the event's approved, the next day, you'll kind of see those calendar invites come in through Tracy's office, but I will confirm on the concert series.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Next is item number 7, mayor's comments. First item up is Police Academy graduate Peyton Vitito. So I think Assistant Chief Nash going to come and introduce him to us. I know Mr. Vitito very well, a former student of mine. He is now carrying a gun. That's scary, but I didn't do a very good job, did I? All right, go ahead, Chief.
I asked him if he wanted to, talk for himself, but he said he did not want to. Peyton Vitito is our most recent graduate of the Department of Criminal Justice Training Academy. Mr. Vitito is a lifelong resident of Scott County. He graduated from Great Crossing in 2021, and he attended EKU University and has a bachelor's in criminal justice. He became a dispatcher before he became a police officer, so he is a transport from our dispatch center. And he joined us just a few weeks ago, and he's on recruit training officer program. He did achieve the most improved recruit at the academy for his physical fitness, so that's Mr. Vitito. We're happy to have him. Any tough questions for him?
Well,
Just welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Well, Peyton, welcome to the city of Georgetown. And, it's always good that we see people who have actually grown this community actually come back and take part and want to live here and work here and being a public servant. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. A couple more items here for you. Just kind of go down my list here a little bit. A couple of items here. You received a change on your finance committee meeting change. We gave you an updated calendar, as you see on your sheet there, and the change would be that on March 16th, we're canceling that meeting there, and we are then going to have the special call finance committee meeting on the 17th at 4 o'clock at the Georgetown Police Department Community Room. So that's a change to your schedule there, and we should have a copy of it. If you have not received a copy, please raise your hand, and we'll make sure we get that for you. Next, I had the pleasure of yesterday of actually taking part in Reverend Henry Mitchell Daly. I don't know if you all know him. He's the pastor of Zion Baptist Church. He's retiring from his pastoral duties at the church, and he also used to be the pastor at First Baptist Church in Stamping Ground, and he was been a very pivotal spiritual leader and community activist and for this community. And so with that retirement yesterday of 55 years of service to this community. And so from the city of Georgetown, we did a proclamation on our behalf to him. I went yesterday to present that to him, and so if you happen to see him out and about, that was a great achievement for a lifelong person who has meant a lot to this community. So that. We have put out on our social media lane closure off the connector near Dan Cummins dealership, March 9th to the 19th. They're going to be closing one lane due for the business hours. So that's out there, so people will need to know that, but just only during the business hour that will be done. Some update presentation for you to keep on your calendar. The traffic calming, which Eddie and them will bring to the council, will be on March 23rd. And the stormwater maintenance and capital project will be on April 13th. I think last week or week before, last council meeting, there was an update that was asked by Council Member Mickey about the abandonment and belated properties and so on. We're getting that together. Staff is working on getting that together, and we'll get that to you all, council, as soon as possible. We also talked about some work date for a work session with planning and zoning, which you all had requested. The dates to be keeping in mind will be March the 30th, March 31st, and April the 1st are the 3 days. And they're going to have to have, I think Holden's going to talk with his commissioners to see what date that works with them. And then once that's done, we'll get you all a final date. And then get it out to the public to let them know. All right? And one other item here left, I sent you all an invite today from Scott County United. They're having a ribbon cutting for the new location. It's on 228 East Main Street. It's going to be on Thursday, March 19th at 4 p.m. So if you want to come by that's what that is. So that is all I have for mayor's comments. Next item, number 8, will be council committee reports. And on council committee reports, we have fire and police. And I will let fire folks go first.
Thank you, Mayor. Sure, Mom. We met, and the meeting date was February 26th at 3 p.m. And the mayor was there, and also present, Fire Chief Seth Johnson, Assistant Fire Chief Cam Johnson, Assistant Fire Chief Ann Willett, Fire Marshal Corey Thomas, Fire Inspector Billy Calvert, Administrative Assistant Donna Alsop, Finance Director Stacy Clark, and Grant Administrator Karen Leverins. Minutes were approved. Apparatus update, Chief Johnson said that the ladder truck will be finished sooner than anticipated, so we're not going to be able to display as we had anticipated at FDIC, but the custom engines will be finished shortly. After the ladder truck as well, and department members will be going to Wisconsin to inspect both the ladder truck and the custom engines to make sure everything is the way we want it. Staffing, we are fully staffed. That includes the 3 additional firefighters that were hired in anticipation of station number 4. He also introduced Corey Thomas as the new fire marshal and Billy Calvert as the new fire inspector. And Chief Johnson stated that there could be several retirements in the future that we will be made aware of. A response trailer is being worked on. We're ready to move forward with outfitting that. We have a grant from Norfolk Southern for $10,000, so that'll help considerably to get that up and going. The goal is to fund it entirely through grants. This response trailer is a privilege that we have been elected to have, and it can go all over the state to rapidly respond to disasters that might take place. So we're glad to be able to do that. Training center update, Assistant Chief Johnson told the committee that the department's waiting for 3 quotes so that we can have a stairwell on the outside of it. And there's also some interior modifications that need to be made. And we've got some remaining funds from the Kentucky Fire Commission grant. There's also some low-cost training items that we might need to be able to add for a burn box. It sounds ominous, doesn't it? For live fire training, place I hope to never be in. 2025 training hours were very impressive, and I think both of us were impressed with this. The Kentucky Fire Commission requires firefighters to complete 100 hours of training across lots of different categories, and that's annual training to remain eligible for state incentives. The Georgetown Fire Department sets a higher goal of 200 hours per firefighter. But in 2025, we had a combined 13,000 training hours for the fire department, which is an average of 250 hours per firefighter. So that is absolutely commendable. General discussion, Assistant Chief Willett talked about Safety Day, which is April 18th. It is informative, but it's also a fun day for kids and families. And there's a fundraiser for the Citizen Fire Academy, and they're trying to raise money for a safety house inflatable to be used at fire department community events. So that's one thing that they're hoping to be able to do. And the meeting was adjourned at 3:32. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have police.
Thank you, Mayor. The Police Committee met on March 2nd, and all the members were present as well as key department leadership and city staff. The 4 areas that we talked about, staffing levels, compensation structure, dispatch technology upgrades, and ongoing community engagement efforts. Under the staffing, hiring, and recruitment, in our dispatch center, 4 dispatchers have graduated from the academy as of March the 6th, I'm sorry. We have 5 candidates that are in phase 1 of testing. We have recently hired a new supervisor for dispatch, and that still has 7 positions remaining open in dispatch. Let's see, for the police department, we currently have 69 sworn officers and 1 pending candidate. And then it brings staffing to 70 out of 77. There are 4 applicants from the previous POPs testing that are in background checks. There was another testing group for POPs this past Saturday as well. So there's more in the pipeline. Recruitment is underway for 2 safety officers and an open records clerk, and there's a lot of strong interest in all of those positions. Unfortunately, like in a lot of places, you're seeing a lot of applications, but the percentage of qualified candidates, shrinks that number significantly. So just for your information there. Chief Allgood also reminded us about staffing ratios. So currently our Georgetown Police Department is at 1.79 officers per 1,000 residents as we continue to grow as a city. The Kentucky average across all agencies is 2.2 officers per 1,000, and the FBI standard is at 2.4 officers per 1,000. So just to give you some sense, we would have to have 14 to 33 more officers than we currently have based on our current population, just as a benchmark for us to continue to look at. The second category we talked about was the pay step floor process proposal. Assistant Chief Nash has been working with Megan, addressing some issues to correct pay compensation between ranks and ensuring progression for years of service. The key points out of all this, I think for us all to remember, is the 2023 compensation study set starting pay, but did not address promotional activities and then the gaps that are there. So they're working on a new model to improve recruitment, retention, and internal equity amongst our officers. We are basing that on the 2024 Kentucky League of Cities wage study, so that's part of the background that's being used for that. And there'll be some more of this coming before the Budget Committee and then to ultimately to council. But we're looking at that and providing some feedback initially before it comes to the Finance Committee. The third category that we had was Prepare by Axon. This is the program that I talked about at our last update. Jennifer's been working with them, and basically there were a few questions that we had, and those have been answered. And I believe she has a brief presentation for you tonight as well, so that to give you some sense of what this is about. And we did make a recommendation to bring this to the council for approval. This will go a long way to help in training and dispatch and making dispatchers more efficient and effective with their technology that they're using. And I won't steal any of the rest of her thunder on that. You'll hear from her on that. But the concerns or the questions that we had around risk management and KLC from an insurance perspective were all addressed. So, and then the fourth area that we talked about was just general department updates, and we met the one graduate from our program here tonight. There are 4 officers waiting to get into the academy now that are on staff. They did start the Citizens Police Academy, began their first session on March 3rd. And I want to make sure everybody's aware, if you haven't seen it on on the Georgetown Police Department's Facebook page, the Criminal Investigations Division has started a community crime education series. It's a monthly series. The first one they did was on fraud prevention, and this is being held at the Scott County Library. The next session is March 19th at 6 p.m. It's an open house kind of setup, so you can kind of come and go. But the next session is on internet safety and cyber crime. So I would just invite you all out there. There's no cost. It's open to anybody from the public to attend and participate. But please do check out the Georgetown KY Police Department Facebook page for those updates. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
And I don't know who can best answer this, maybe you can answer it later, but it says 7 positions in dispatch are open. Does that mean that we're having a lot of overtime?
Jennifer's here, and Jennifer can answer for us.
We do have a lot of overtime right now.
Fortunately, we also have a lot of openings right now, so we have the money to leverage that with our salary. But
So is it a matter of not being able to recruit enough candidates? Is it the pay structure? Is it, that's a lot of openings.
it is a lot of openings, and we lost several at one time.
Yeah.
And part of, that is actually part of what I'm going to talk about tonight.
Okay, well, we can wait then.
You want, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
we can wait.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Anybody has questions? All right. Next is item number 9, planning and zoning ordinance. We are, just to kind of follow up, this council asked for a work session to work along with planning and zoning as to addressing some of the concerns that the committee that was put together. And we're trying to put this work session together, but going to need some input as to making sure you let us know exactly to form an agenda as to what that agenda will look like. If there's basic questions or basic things that you think can be put on there, we can discuss it here. And if not, if you still got something that comes to your mind, you can email me and let me know what those are, and I'll make sure staff gets those. But trying to get an idea of what you want that to look like.
So, Mayor, if I could, since the committee worked on that and proposed and sent to the council our findings from that, our report, would it be beneficial for that report to be forwarded to the Planning Commission as a potential, or does that create maybe more confusion?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, we can do that. I can make sure that Holden gets a copy of that and then move it on to you all.
Because I would hope that in addition to that, that the Planning Commission would be prepared to bring additional things to us from their perspective. I know the Planning Commission has the 7 amendments or changes that they had proposed, but if there's anything in addition to that, because that was part of our discussion as well. So,
Okay. All right.
so that would be a request if they had anything in addition to that.
So what we'll do with that is we'll make sure that Holden gets a copy of that, and also he can get it back, information back to us on that, okay? All right? All right. Item number 10.
Evening. Just a quick update tonight. Something we talked about at the last city council meeting, a regular meeting related to our work in Royal Spring Park, Deshay and Water Street Interceptor Sewer. The council had action that directed me that we wanted to work around both of our cabins that are there, both the cabins. And just as update tonight, not requesting any action, but we did receive a preliminary number from the contractor. I did advise council at that meeting that I thought that would be a minimal change, increasing pipe and a couple extra manholes, but other than that, the work is pretty similar to what's in the scope. Contractor has submitted a preliminary number to me that is not minimal, $226,000. I have requested a lot of additional justification for that because I'm not quite sure where that is, but we walked the site with the contractor. He's pointing out there's quite a bit of difference in trench shoring, in slope stability on the east side of the cabin, and that slope that goes up the street toward the sidewalk on South Water. So right now, I'm just waiting on that justification. This still has, if we're going to consider this change order, then we will have to take that to the board at our next meeting, then bring that back to you for your consideration. But even if the best of negotiation, I don't know that I can get that down to what I think is a reasonable amount. I think the contract allows us to move the cabin out of the way of construction, then we can move it back. I think for $226,000, I think I'll be recommending to the board that that we need to stay with the contract as is. However, council has taken an action at the last meeting, asked me to work around those, so we'll just have to have that discussion pending what the board decides. I don't know where they'll land on this, but just wanted to keep you updated. Mayor Jenkins asked me to not let another meeting go by without at least letting you know where we're at on this. I did also meet with park staff, and we discussed what we talked about here also, is while we've got a contractor there, while we've got equipment there, what are some things that parks would like to knock off the list while things are in disrepair, what are some things? So we made a list, and they're going to kind of finalize that list with their architect and send that over to me. If you're asking me, I'd like to see this move the cabin out of the way, out of harm's way. Let's put the sewer in, move the cabin back to its current location, and then we can use that money on Parks' list that we talked about. Then I put some of the things that they mentioned to me that they'd like to see done. But no action, just wanted to give you that update. If you have any questions at this time, all I can say is I'm working to make sure we have proper justification for that number that I think's a monster, and we'll see if we can revisit this, that we can still do this in a manner that gets the project done, gets it done while we're being observant of rate revenue that's supporting this project, but also keep our community landmarks safe and also out of harm's way. So happy to take any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Chase, when you say moving the cabins, can you explain where they'll be moved to?
Yes, ma'am. So the contract stated that we're going to take the leach cabin, the northmost cabin, or let's start with the southern cabin. That was the one that I think has some maintenance issues, where that was just going to be moved elsewhere. Mayor Jenkins was working with me on whether it's just needs to be disposed of, if there's another place we can move it to, or how it could be surplused. We're not going to do anything with the southern cabin now. That's going to stay put. We won't touch it. But we were going to move that one and then move the leach cabin down to that location of the southern one. What we can also do, the contractor said they would do, because they think it's the same work, is we don't touch the southern cabin. We'll just move the leach cabin off to the flat part. It'll be closer to the stream. They'll go and do their sewer construction. Then they'll move that back onto that same pad, rebuild the CMU foundation, and then put the dry stack rock around the base. They said that is what their bid is based on, so I feel like we can do that. They did say that working around the southern cabin with it not being there, that will cause a slowdown in production. I don't know what that cost will be, but instead of having access on both sides, they'll have a cabin on one side that they're not going to touch. So they did foresee that there'd be a slowdown in production related to that cabin not being moved. We can deal with that. We can deal with that at a later date, but that's kind of the update that I have, and so I think what we'll plan on doing, though, is just related to the leach cabin, is as an option, council and the board's decision, not mine, but we can move the leach cabin to that flat area, get it protected, put the sewer line in, and then move the leach cabin back. That's what they're saying their bid is representative
So just
of.
moving one cabin
Moving one cabin 2 times.
and leaving the other one in place? And is that in the scope of the contract right now?
Yes, other than what I think that they will ask for is some slowdown in productivity numbers, and I don't.
You
know
don't have any idea what that is?
I do not.
Okay.
And Chase, I would say that, I'll speak for myself here, that it sounded like a great idea, but seeing the numbers, I think that we need to relook. I'm not, like, we ask you to move forward, but I wouldn't be in favor of you moving forward at that number personally. If there, and I think there was some misconception too, and on some of our parts as well, or at least mine, that when you said move the cabin, I don't know that we understood that you just meant moving it down the hill.
Moving it 50 feet away, move it back, and
then move
that's.
And so there's a lesson there that, you know, and from what I understand, the way that it will be moved is the way that it was brought in to begin with. It has a,
Believe that's correct, and again, I've not gotten into that detail with the contractor yet on how that will be done, if that's the route that's chosen to take, but I would imagine there's going to be probably 2 or 3 steel beams under it. It'll be lifted, set down, then lifted back up and put on that, because it's on a modern CMU foundation, and that's, that'll have to be rebuilt, and that's what's in the contract.
and that's in the scope of things.
Because if
Okay.
they moved it to the southern part, they'd be doing the same thing there.
Gotcha.
Mr. Mickey?
Yeah,
and Mr.
so,
Chris.
So Chase, I'm a little confused because it sounded like in the original scope and what I read in the scope, that the southern cabin was going to be gone and the leach cabin was moving down. And that was the contract. That was what was in the
Correct.
scope and
Yes, sir.
in the contract. So moving the leach cabin 50 feet, doing the sewer line, then moving it back, that would have been a change, correct?
I think that what I'm trying to convey is they're going to do that for the same amount that is in the contract.
Okay. And then the third item, you know, similar to what Tammy was saying, I think we were, again, I'll just speak for myself, the understanding was that it was minimal cost for that. So I think the actual cost should be re-looked at and reevaluated, because the vote was based on minimal costs, so.
And that was what I presented.
Right.
I
Yeah,
presented and-
no question there. The third question that I would have is, what does Parks say about this, about the cabins? And what's their preference in, should the southern cabin still be removed, the leach one moved back down there? Was that part of their original thought as well, or where are they in all of this?
Met with Drew last week, and that's when we were discussing the improvements, and I hate to speak for him, but I'll say just what I took from the conversation is that if we want to do something else, relocate, dispose of, dedicate, surplus, whatever it is with the southern cabin, I don't think Drew, as only him that I'm talking to, had an issue with that. However, if we want to leave it and make sure that it's not touched, that's fine as well. I think that he has confidence that we could move the leach cabin out of the way and then move it back. So I think I didn't sense any drawback from Drew, but again, I hate to speak for him, but that's what I took away from the conversation.
So I think it's important that we hear from them on what their interest and vote, for lack of a better word, in this process as one of the stakeholder groups.
Tourism
in
as
this
well
activity.
with that.
I think if it's changed that much, I think it's something that we need to revisit. And, if the scope has changed that much based upon what we voted on, I think we bring it back and relook at everything, Not saying that they're not doing a bad job, but I know that there's a lot to that. But along the same lines, it's still a lot of extra money to look at. And
I would, again, this is just what my recommendation to the board, if they justify their numbers, I have a hard time recommending $226,000 of rate revenue going to that change order when I feel like we can get to the same end with what we've already agreed. So.
Mr. Chris?
Yeah, and Chase, you may have touched on this last time that you presented about this. Of course, you've got the two cabins. What about the covered pavilion in the middle?
We won't touch it.
Okay. And it seemed in one of the earlier plans it might be close to where the trenching was going to happen, or
We'll go right adjacent to it, but based on how they'll use trench boxes and shoring, we won't have any issue there, and if we do, then we'll fix it.
Okay.
That was something I'd also asked Parks if there was anything, and is that part of something that we need to look at? And I think that he felt like the pavilion we're talking about was in pretty good condition, so he kind of had listed what I listed in the memo as maintenance to some of those dry stack rock walls, overall turf improvement, landscaping, and some not swing set swings, but he had a better term for it, and I'm forgetting, but relaxing swings, not let's go as high as my daughters would go swings.
Yeah,
So.
great.
Okay.
And then just to get ahead of it, what if one or both cabins during the move just collapses or has some major structural issues? What's
I
kind
think
of
we've just got to fix them. We fix it. I mean, there's parts that you see that are not original, whether it's, and I'm talking about the leach cabin, that's one I've looked at more is, that's mortar it's concrete. It's not the old mud and whatever it was originally made with. If something breaks, which I can't promise you it won't, we'll fix it. So.
Yes, Mr. Hampton?
Chase, what is is this throwing you behind the contractor? Is this throwing them behind?
Not at this point, no.
Okay, all right.
I'm guessing what you're going through is what is in my memo. I'm eager to spend that federal funding before it expires.
Okay.
And that's in December, is it not? Or before then?
End of the year, but I think you have to have your last pay app in at the end of November.
Okay.
I'm confident we can spin that down, but we will be watching the schedule very closely.
Okay.
They're already working on the other end of
You can take a look and see a lot of pipe strung
Yeah.
out, and they're starting on their bore pit for going under the bridge.
So this is going to take a little while anyway before we get to the stage of those cabins. So it gives you some time to have conversation with Tourism and also Parks and Rec, and have a conversation with them and letting us know where you are with that, and everybody coming together on that. Okay.
I hope our board meeting this month, we have a strong recommendation to the board, and then come back to you all at your next meeting with the recommendation as well.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chase. All right. Next, item number 11, City Engineer Municipal Order for Sims Road Landfill Drainage Pipe CCTV Inspections, Cleaning, and Repairs.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So the Sims Road landfill is the old city dump. It's been closed down for 30 years. It hadn't accepted any new trash for a long time. However, it's something that we still have to maintain. And there's a collection line that runs around the perimeter, and the purpose of the line is to collect groundwater that is contaminated with solid waste, leachate, and it sends it to a pumping station, which is pumped into GMWSS's to the treatment plant. So it's a pretty sophisticated system, and it's in need of some maintenance and repair. And we put it out to bid and got several bids, got 3 bids, and this was the low bidder for the project. So I ask for approval of the contract with Buchanan Contracting.
Mayor, I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion is made by Mr. Hampton, second by Ms. Mitchell. Are there further questions and/or comments? All right, all in favor of the municipal order for Sims Road landfill drainage, pipe CCTV inspection, cleaning, and repairs, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that it's passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Item 13, fire municipal order, contract for fire station. Excuse me, my bad, getting a little ahead. Dispatch, municipal order for Exxon prepare. I think Jennifer's here with dispatch, and she's gonna give us a little presentation on this, so, excuse me, getting ahead of myself.
It's okay. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. I'm Jennifer from Dispatch. I brought Kayla with me. This is our assistant coordinator from Dispatch. I don't know if you want to wave, see okay. So, to answer your question, we have noticed that there are a couple things affecting our turnover rate. Pay is always going to be an issue. It's hard to compete with other places. We are so close to so many places like Covington and Lexington that are bigger than us, but Lexington does it very different. Lexington has call takers and they have dispatchers. They don't intermingle. They pay different. They pay more than us on both parts, but we do everything. We're not big enough to do it like Lexington does yet. We probably will be one day, but we're not there yet. But the other thing is it's really, really intimidating to walk into that environment and see the amount of multitasking that goes on, and to see the stress level and the amount of everything that's happening in the room. And a lot of people just, they can't do it. Like they walk in and they see everything that's happening and they just kind of, they may spend a week there, they may spend a month there, they may not come back the next day, sometimes. But I did put together a presentation. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Well, just as a follow-up, Mayor, could I?
Yes.
If there are things that we can act upon to help that process, I find it concerning, so let the council know.
Well, this is one of those that I'm hoping will help.
Right.
So one of the things that personally I've noticed, and I've been doing this, I won't say how many years, a long time, is that over the years, we've gotten a lot more technology, and technology is fantastic. It's great. But as we've gotten more technology, we still only have we still have two hands.
Right.
So you get all this technology thrown at you, but you get busier and busier and busier, and you get more phone calls and more call volume, and you still are just one person.
Yeah.
So now you've got more calls going on, and you've got more technology to use, but it's just more things to do. So the goal is to find more apps that we can, more applications that we can condense into just one platform. So with this application, that's kind of what we've done. We can take at least 3 or 4 things that we currently use, and they've condensed them into one application. Because I know a lot of you have not been in dispatch. I know Todd can probably attest to a lot of it. But we have currently 4 screens right now, with the possibility of having 8, am I right? With the hope of having 8. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. But you need those 8 screens. We probably could use more than 8 screens, because it's too much to flip back and forth to try to look at all of the different screens. And I'll show you that in this presentation. At one point, you see we've got literally 15 tabs open. And we need all of those. We need all of those open so that we have everything at our fingertips that we need.
Right.
But the hope is that this takes a little bit of the burden off of the dispatcher. So it's not doing the dispatcher's job, it's just another tool. But it's hopefully a tool that lightens the load just enough to take away some of the burnout.
Mayor, if I could, one thing real quick. When do y'all do your presentation at Citizen Police Academy?
We haven't done that in a while. I don't know.
That's a mistake.
I went through it, I went there when I was in
Yeah.
the police academy.
Yeah.
It's
That-
important for
Yeah.
people to see.
It's very.
Yeah.
Because what you all don't understand, you saw what they do. I've lived what they went through. They have to listen to domestic violence on the phone, shootings on the other end of a radio, shootings on the phone, stabbings on the phone, stabbings on the radio. There's no way for them to go and decompress, because guess what? The next phone call's coming. The officer needs help. Somebody else needs something. So to answer your question, what's the disconnect? Or as much as stressful as a police officer's job is, that job's 10 times more. Because they don't get to walk out. Police officer can go find a spot and park and go, okay, I need to get myself back together. They don't get that opportunity. That's why they have such turnover. They've been on 12-hour shifts before I retired, and I've been gone since 2014.
Yeah.
So getting
Off and on
people
for a
in
long
is
time.
not easy, so
Yeah.
No.
thank you.
Well, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And I won't say it's more stressful, but it is a very, very stressful job. And it's one of those jobs where you have to be passionate about it. You have to love what you do to be able to do it. Sometimes you can still love what you do and get very burnt out on it and have to just walk away, and we understand that. But our goal is to just take a little bit of the pressure off so that people don't feel that and want to stay. There's too much technology out there right now for them to be having to work as hard as they are working currently. There's too much help to not take it. So
Thank you.
hopefully this will help.
Yeah.
Hopefully this helps our turnover rate. Hopefully this helps our morale. Hopefully it helps the whole everything. But I don't know who I'm supposed to.
Just say next slide.
All right. Get my notes here. Okay, so next slide. So for those of you who don't know, this is what our CAD system looks like. This is just our CAD system. This is 2 screens put together. On the top screen, or the top of the screen, the top picture, it's what it normally looks like. These are calls going on. These are, obviously we've got addresses and stuff blurred out. The bottom screen here, if you look in the very middle, on the bottom of the screen, there is a rectangle, a very small rectangle. That is our 911 queue. That is where we can see the 911 calls that come in. We will click on that little blue part, and that will open this screen to the left. That is our call. That's our 911 call that opens. That's how every call starts when it comes in on 911. The old way of finding out the address, you had to click on a little bitty box up there. It would tell you that it was maybe 5,000 feet from an address, maybe 5 feet from an address. We've came way past that now. And next slide. And now we have these two screens at the top. We have rapid deploy and we have rapid SOS. Those are our two go-tos for locations. They both work exactly the same. They have a couple little different characteristics. One of them, or both of them, Kayla, will show us if another agency is on the line.
I believe that it's SOS.
I think, yeah. One of them, I think it's rapid SOS, or it may even be both of them. I'm not quite sure. Will show us, if it rang in close enough to our agency, it will show us that maybe Lexington is on the line with them. These are much better locations, but yet we have to go to a different screen on the internet to see this. The bottom left is going to be our emergency medical dispatching. That's where we're going to give all of our pre-arrival instructions, code 500s, choking, anything like that. Yet again, go to a different screen. On the bottom right, it is a picture of our flock system, but better yet, the circled part at the top, that's just a image of all of the things that we have to have open to be able to function during the shift. It says 9+. There are actually, not including the email, there are actually 15 tabs open. All that are needed, and we're only talking about trying to get rid of 4 at this point. But 4 would be a drastic change for us, a drastic change. Next slide.
Can you turn the mic toward you
Oh.
so it can show on the stream?
Sorry. So with this prepared, we would be able to consolidate 3+ current applications into one, because with prepared, it would have not only the mapping on the screen, on one screen, it will be able to transcribe the 911 call on the screen. It will be able to translate a call, a foreign language call, onto one screen. We can track our callers' movements in real time. We can use mapping overlays to get better locations, transcribe the calls. It'll, with AI, power non-emergency call triage, centralize all of our call data into one platform, and it'll give us real-time call summaries. All right, next slide. So the real-time call translation for audio and text, it'll pick up 200 languages to support non-English speaking callers. And the best part about it is that it never misses a beat. Right now, if we get a Spanish-speaking caller, or any language, we have to transfer them to our language line. We don't have to do that. As soon as we say hello and it recognizes that it's a different language, it's going to automatically start speaking to them in whatever language it recognizes. It will type to us whatever that person is saying. We can type back and it'll speak it to them. So there's no delay. There's no delay in service, there's no delay in getting help, there's no delay in nothing. Currently, a lot of times we will transfer the call and people hang up because they hear that click and a dial tone before it transfers and they think that we've hung up on them. So they just hang up. And then we have to get the translator on the line and have the translator call them back, and it takes forever. Next slide. This was, again, showing that you can track your caller's movement. It has enhanced Annie Alley, which is, Annie Alley is the location and phone number just for 911. Next. So this is where it transcribes our 911 calls in real time so that no key details are missed, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but if we have let's say we have a structure fire going on, there's also maybe an injury accident, dispatch is really, really busy, and we're on the phone with 911 as well. There's a lot of radio traffic going on already. Maybe you think that you have missed one digit of a house number, you know? You've got to ask that caller to repeat, you know, sometimes maybe a couple of times because you've got so much traffic going on. But if you have the ability to just look at what you're hearing, maybe you don't have to do that, you know? Or if you think you've heard something, you can just kind of verify it. It's just another tool to kind of build confidence in what you're hearing, which is also great for the trainees that we have coming in. Because sometimes that's really all they're lacking, is just the confidence in what they're doing. Next slide. This is probably the most exciting part of it, is the AI-powered non-emergency call triage. And this is also probably the part that is going to help dispatch the most. So this is only for the non-emergency calls. We do have to build it. They call it intentions. They say it doesn't take very long, and I'm gonna take their word for it. We did a virtual tour with, I can't remember the agency's name, but it was right outside of Boston, and he said it took about a month. But we can build this to where if somebody is calling in and they want to know about fireworks for the 4th of July, we could have a pre-recorded message ready to go, and the AI would answer the non-emergency line, and as soon as they said something about fireworks, it would direct them to this pre-recorded message, and it could be about anything, about maybe the county fair or the Festival of the Horse or for whatever. It can direct them to any other department or any other city hall or whatever. But the best part is that it has built-in features to where if it hears violence in the background, if it hears cursing or loud language or keywords like gun or fighting or anything like that, it's going to automatically push it back to 911. So there are safety features in it to where it's not going to miss something like that. Next slide. On the on every one of the calls, on the 911 calls, you also get a summary with it that you can just copy and paste straight into the call for service. So the officers can also see this as well. It also gives you a highlight that will, if it hears like a gun involved or something like that, it will actually highlight it. Next slide. These are just some of the highlights for supervisors. It'll provide documentation for post-incident review, searchable call records, automated quality assurance, keyword triggers, and analytics. Can help identify trends or areas for improvement. Supervisors get real-time visibility into call center operations. You can see call transcriptions in real time versus just post-call recordings, and AI-powered training simulations for trainees. And I'm sorry, that was for the QA portion of it, which is also another great option. The QA portion is real time, which we don't have time to do right now. Our idea of QA right now is open records, which is unfortunate, but that's all we have time for. The best part for me of the QA is that it also comes with an AI simulator for the trainees that we can narrow down to either calls that we have already had that are in our system. We can narrow it down to the zip code. You could narrow it down to a section of town. You could narrow it down to anything. But you can put your trainees on it, and instead of having them do real 911 calls, you can have them do maybe real 911 calls that you've already had, but they're simulated, which is exceptionally ideal. It's way better. Next slide. This is more about the quality assurance. It breaks it down for you. It can tell you exactly what areas every one of your people needs work on, or what areas they're doing well on. Next slide. This is more about the security of it. It tells you just Axon as a whole. Next slide. And this is just a very short video. I think it is less than 2 minutes. If you want to play it.
Roger, 1-1. Go ahead.
911, what is your emergency?
My name is Dana Smith. I think I'm watching a break-in. Someone just knocked on my door, and then I saw them cross the street and go into a house that's not currently occupied.
I understand. What's your location?
I live on 475 Church Road.
What is your emergency?
Allô, xin chào, con cảnh sát của một chiếc xe trang ban chạy, ngồi trang ban lao trong tu tuộc xe.
Chuộc rối, tùa ăn, tối chạy ăn chẳng nói tiếng Việt, hiểu tiếng Anh chút.
Tôi không nói được, tôi xin lỗi.
I just saw Man's crap. You need to send help. Where are you located? Oh my God, it's okay. It's okay.
I can see the caller location. Dispatching drone now.
Ma'am, help is already on the way. Take a deep breath. You're doing great.
Obviously, we don't have the drones or anything like that in dispatch anyway. That's it in a nutshell. We're hoping that it helps. I think it will. I'm very hopeful that it will. And obviously, anything that helps us in dispatch, in turn, we hope helps every other agency in town and the county as well, so. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. At this time, item 12, the municipal order for Axon prepare. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
It was a unanimous motion.
Motion made by Mr. Minky, second by Miss Hambrick. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the municipal order for Axon prepared signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Thank you. Item 13, fire municipal order for contract for fire station number 4 design services.
Yes. We issued a request for qualifications for the fire station number 4 design, received 11 responses. Our scoring committee met on February 19th, and Branstetter Carroll was the highest scoring proposal. You have the A1A contract and the fee proposal in front of you, and Right now, we are, have a fee proposal of $224,000. We will come back when it is time for construction admin to bring in that portion, but overall, it is a 7% fee on an estimated cost of $4 million.
All right. All right, you have heard the request. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Hambrick. Do I have a second? Mr. Crisp. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the municipal order for the contract for Fire Station number 4, Design Services, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that it passed. Thank you. Item 14, Police Department Municipal Order for Axon Additional Hardware/Software. Chief
So,
Nash.
This is a pre-budgeted item that was approved in July. We're just asking for this to go forward to fulfill the vacancies. As we're filling the vacancies, we're going to need that equipment to put on our police officers, so that's why we're coming back with this municipal order.
All right. You have heard the request. At this time, do I have a motion? Motion made by Ms. Mitchell, second. Second by Ms. Sames. Are there further questions and/or comments? All those in favor of the municipal order for Axon Additional Hardware/Software, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Item 15, council discussion, old business. Council discussion, new business.
I have one thing, Mayor. I was called, actually it was written, it wasn't a telephone call. I was messaged about a sign that is on Kelly Avenue that's been up maybe a couple of years. It's an orange work sign, and also side road, and it's on the owner's property who would like it removed since nothing is happening.
Yeah, you know it's related to.
Hey, can we-
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's mostly likely related to when the state resurfaced 460. Is it close to Main Street and 460 where they started all the way
It's
up?
on the Erdley property,
Yeah,
so it's a couple houses down.
like right up here, yeah. And I've requested those signs they were put up by the state as part of the paving to tell people, there's paving activities going on, and for some reason, they haven't taken them down, and I've requested it 2 or 3 times to have them take them down, and they keep telling me, well, we still got something else we have to do, and we like to leave them up till we close everything out, and I will request that again, but.
It seems kind of silly. Can we take?
Well,
I guess we can't take them down.
No, I thought it was all done too.
Yeah.
Unless they have some miscellaneous cleanup work or some other site work that I don't know about. But I will request that again. But they were put up as part of that state roads resurfacing project.
All right.
Let us know.
I've
That'd be
had
great.
calls about that before, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie. All right. Any other new business?
Yep, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Yep. The news graphic a few days ago did a really great article talking about downtown parking. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was really fascinating. The article, some of the highlights of it said that there were 688 parking spaces in downtown, including lots and along Main Street. Only 15 handicap spaces. That was kind of surprising. I received a lot of feedback from people that thought we should have a little bit more. As we started to dive in and talk a little bit about parking, a lot of our constituents reached out and wanted to know what the status was of any short-term or long-term parking garage plans. And I just wanted to see what your thought was of that. I know over the years, everybody kind of starts talking about that. So I don't know, does anybody have any comments or thoughts about one?
Well, I'll tell you, that's something that we've been talking about, and, think about it, you gotta figure out where you wanna put it, cost of it, who's gonna manage it, and so on. But that is still on the conversation list, and, and we'll continue to do that, and hopefully, if we can come up with something, we'll bring it back, let you know.
Right, and one last mention about that. I think it would be really great if we could do some sort of study, as formal as possible, to find out how many people live or work downtown. And then that way, we could look at that number, look at the available parking spaces, and just get an idea of how big of a need it is. It might be a bigger need than what we think it is, or it might not be. But if there was a way we could go about finding out that information, I think that'd be helpful as we move forward.
I can look at that. I don't know if we can go to tourism. They probably have an idea of who's down there and what business and so on. But I will contact, first of all, I will contact Lori and see where they can help with that.
Okay.
So, all right. Any other new business? Council comments? Mr. Stone?
Thank you, sir. So Devin doesn't yell at me. First off, I want to say that, the comment I made earlier about the dispatchers having a more stressful job than PD or SO, don't get me wrong, the police department and sheriff's office, any law enforcement agency has a very stressful job. But as I said, they get a chance to get away and get to a place where they can decompress. Dispatchers don't get that. They go right to the next call. So, and one dispatcher one night had to listen to me talk to officers on the east end of town when I had a wreck on the west end of town, but they couldn't hear me here. They could hear me out there. So that really bothered a dispatcher. We've had them that have listened to officer-involved shootings, so they go through a lot. So anything, that's one area that I think we really need to step up and improve greatly is the dispatch center, and dispatchers in general. If it comes to money, we will have to do that. That's something we need to do, but it's something we definitely need to look at in the upcoming budget season. So, and then had stop sign at Main Avenue in North Hamilton, there at Mr. Fernando Thomas's house. The stop sign keeps falling over. People keep edging over and over into the grass, and so we may have to look at probably setting that in concrete or something to get it better.
I will get Public Works.
Okay.
If you can
And
send me
I'll-
the address and everything, and
Yeah.
now what I'll do, I'll make sure that Public Works gets that. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, sir. That's all I got.
Ms. Mitchell,
All good.
Mr. Hampton?
Excuse me. The only thing I have, Mayor, is I just want to thank everybody for the calls and texts while I was out, and I really appreciated it. Glad to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Thank you. Ms. Brent?
I have community announcement. I am a representative of the city for the Friends of the Park.
Okay.
So 2 dates I want to let the public know. On March the 20th, we're partnering with the Georgetown Scott County Parks and Recs for a park stargazing event, so at 8 p.m. So bring out your children, adults, come out and enjoy the night at the Scott County Park. And then we're going to do a cleanup on March the 28th from 10 to 12. And the Friends of the Parks provides the grab bars, the trash bags, and gloves, but I invite everybody to come out, bring your kids, and come clean up the park with us.
What is the time on the 20th?
The 20th is at 8 p.m.,
And the time on the 28th?
10 to 12.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
All right, Ms. Hambrick?
Does dispatch have, do they have access to the program that we have for stress mediation? And they do, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, so that's good.
Okay. That it?
Yep.
Mr. Menke?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Ms. Sames?
Just a couple of things. I think all the council received the email from the young lady that's out in Falls Creek, the back of Falls Creek?
I've already responded back.
Okay.
and they've been taken care of.
Okay, great. And then just the water company, I still get people coming and saying that their water bills, and the problem is whether it's true or it's not true, whether it's their issue or not their issue, it's just so much of it that we didn't have a few years ago. We didn't have any conversation about this, but now we do. So I really feel like we need to have more than a 5-minute conversation with the water company when they come up here to see if there is something going on, because a few years ago, you didn't have that conversation. Nobody came up to say that there was anything drastic unless they filled their pool or watered their lawn or something like that would actually cause that problem. But I don't know, I just think we need to figure out something else that we can look into it and give the citizens more, because it's becoming an issue. Whether it's just because Facebook has got it on there and people are talking about it, and then other people are thinking, oh, well, then I've got the problem too, kind of thing, and maybe it's not legit, but if people are talking about it, then the city council needs to take it serious to try to figure out what's going on.
Right.
So I kind of would like for the next meeting, maybe to put that up as an agenda topic, or I'll just bring it up next time in new business or old business and talk about it more.
All right.
Talking about the park, Royal Spring Park, with the water project, it's for a lot of us are history buffs and really into Georgetown, and it's always great thinking about that area because, Royal Spring's more than just a park. It's basically where Georgetown began. And the Leach Cabin, the early settler cabin, once this project is complete, I would love to have conversations, open conversations with the public and see if there's any way we could, even for a limited time, open the cabins down the road, just periodically here and there, let tourists take a look at them, let the community enjoy them. I understand a few years ago it was a possibility to do that, and then maybe they got in rough shape, and then one of them has bourbon barrels sadly empty in them now. But once the project is completely done, I think it'd be neat to discuss that if it's feasible to let the public see inside the cabins.
All right. Okay. Any other comments or suggestions? If not, be brought, this council meeting is adjourned.